beautiful night for baseball in Atlanta, Georgia. And tonight it's Game 3 of our series between the first-place Mets and the homestanding Atlanta Braves. Nice crowd gathering. Hopefully Atlanta can get on the board and prevent the Mets from earning their 81st win of the season. Hi again, friends, with Hall of Famer Tom Glavine and Joe Simpson. Chip Carey, welcome to the ballpark. Great pitching last night from Matt Whistler. Unfortunately, the game got out of hand with the Braves bullpen staggering over the final 3 innings. Can't afford to have that happen against the Mets. Got to get on the board early, but a tough customer greets us tonight, Tommy.
Yeah, another one of their young studs, Noah Syndergaard. Hasn't been out there in 12 days, so he's going to be well rested. This kid throws hard, and look for him to continue to do that tonight with all those days rest. Didn't pitch well here in Atlanta earlier in the year, only going 4 innings, and what ultimately was a Braves win. He's struggled on the road this year, 1-5 on the season on the road. So look for him to try and get things back on track here a little bit and try to solidify a spot for him in this Mets rotation should they continue on and make their postseason run. And Joe, for the Braves, William Perez is going to look to come back from a strong outing he had his last time out in Philadelphia.
Absolute, Tommy. Against Noah Syndergaard, Williams Perez is going to have to pitch like he did in Philadelphia. He really struggled after he came back from the disabled list, but this start was more like he pitched before he got hurt. He was outstanding. 7 strong innings, did not walk a batter, struck out 6 batters. He was terrific in Philadelphia, and hopefully will have confidence going into this game against the Mets, a team he beat earlier this year, although he did give up 4 earned runs in 6 innings. Look for Williams to have another good night here at home.
And hopefully he can slow down a Mets offense that is blistering the baseball since the All-Star break. Yoenis Cespedes had another long homer last night for the Mets and is making a great case for New York and this postseason run. It's a perfect night for baseball. Big names, big bats. We'll see what happens in Game 3 between the Braves and Mets when we come right back.
Low price every day.
Welcome back to Turner Field. It's the Braves and the Mets for Game 3 of a 4-game set. And September is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. And the Braves, together with Hyundai, support research for childhood cancer. Tonight's guest, Braden Boozer, who is a young 5-year-old Braves fan. and he is a giant superhero fan while undergoing his second series of chemotherapy at Children's Hospital of Atlanta. He met a real-life superhero in Freddie Freeman. Freddie made a trip over to the hospital just a couple weeks ago and brightened up Braden's day and gave him the opportunity to come out to the game tonight with his entire family to enjoy this night. You can find out more about Braden and his struggles on his Facebook page. Pray for Braden also through HyundaiHopeOnWheels.org. More information on how to help these young kids fight this terrible disease. We're just minutes away from lineups and first pitch coming your way here at Turner Field. Should be a great night. We'll have some baseball for you on the other side of the break, so stick with us.
Delta Airlines, and your local Ford dealer.
Back inside Turner Field, where it's a beautiful breezy night for a ball game. Big crowd filing in for game 3 of the set, the Mets and Braves, and look at that temperature, 76 degrees, low humidity, and winds out of the northwest, a true touch of October here in mid-September at Turner Field. Mets can't wait to get to October. They are rolling. They have an 8.5 game lead in the Eastern Division race, and their lineup presented by Academy Sports features a red-hot Curtis Granderson leading off. Yoenis Cespedes hit a tape measure home run here last night. Murphy, Wright, Conforto, Darno, Kelly Johnson, Wilmer Flores, and the man they call Thor, Noah Syndergaard, pitches, hits ninth, and his mound opponent, Williams Perez.
5-6 on the year with a 5.42 ERA. You see his splits and what we were talking about in the open. Started out great, 4-0 with a 2.3, then took a trip to the disabled list and has had a hard time getting things back on track. That one win, his last time out, so hopefully he's going to build on that.
And he had good stuff that night, Tommy, against the Phillies. Good sinker, good changeup. His 4 keys to pitching success tonight, inside job. When he pitches inside, it makes his changeup that much more effective. Hopefully he'll do more of that tonight. And first things first, that's the first inning for him. A 3.29 average against him in the first inning and 14 runs allowed in the first inning out of 16 starts.
Atlanta's defensive lineup tonight. Swisher, Bourne, and Markakis left to right. Peterson, Simmons up the middle. Oliveira, Freeman on the infield corners. A.J. Przinsky behind the plate. By and large, guys, I thought last night was one of the best defensive games the Braves played all year. There were a couple of spectacular efforts, most notably by Michael Bourne in center and Daniel Castro at second base.
Yeah, some great plays. Some defensive clinics there at times last night.
So we'll need a few more of those tonight as Perez gets set for Curtis Granderson. We'll see how Williams does in the first inning. It has been a troublesome spot for him at times. And his first of the night is off the plate, says Chris Siegel, and we're underway. 1 ball, no strikes. Right there, even count. Granderson scored 8 runs in the last 5 games for the Mets and is hitting .259 for the year. And he's already had a big series, scoring 5 times in the first 2 games. He's walked 4 times and has scored every time.
Yeah, make him put the ball in play. Quit walking him.
One hopper to second. Peterson a step to his right, and Perez gets the ball on the ground to start his night. 1 away.
Granderson led off 5 different innings last night.
And here's Yoenis Cespedes. What a run he's on with the Mets. 15 homers, 39 driven in a New York uniform. You add up his numbers while a member of the Detroit Tigers, and Cespedes' year even more impressive. 33 homers and 100 batted in 140 games. I mean to tell you, the ball he hit last night was a monster shot.
I thought he was going in the second deck.
Yeah, it had a shot.
And he hits a high fly ball to left, but that one's playable. And Nick Swisher puts the squeeze on that one. It's going to be tough to hit it out to left, you'd figure. The wind is blowing toward the right field corner tonight. 2 down. And here's Daniel Murphy. One thing the Mets love about Murphy, A, his ability to hit, but B, his ability to defend at almost every position on the infield. First base, second base, third base. Tonight, he's at first. Slingshot fastball missed high and away, ball 2. Two balls and a strike. With this big lead in the East, Terry Collins has the luxury of resting a lot of his regular players. Joe made a great point last night about the interchangeable parts that New York has this year. And the same's true for their young starting staff as well. As Murphy grounds to second, bobbled, recovered, and thrown to first in time. And New York is retired 1-2-3 by Williams Perez. Right, the Mets subdued in order by Williams Perez. Now the Braves bats go to work against Noah Syndergaard. Nick Markakis has swung the bat very well in this series. 2 hits last night. Hector Oliveira back in the lineup. Freeman third. A.J. Przinsky back in harness behind the plate. You see the rest of the Braves starters. And they're going to see a lot of heat tonight on a chilly night in Atlanta.
Yeah, they are. This guy throws hard. 20 starts, 8-6 on the year with a 3.31 ERA. But as we talked about, things haven't been quite so rosy lately, so he's looking to get things back on track a little bit, but he does throw hard, no question about that.
Pitched into the 7th inning his last time out against the Red Sox, but got a no decision. Fastball velocity second on average only to Nathan Eovaldi, who the Braves saw their last homestand with the Yankees.
So tune it up a notch, boys. Syndergaard's in town, a man they nicknamed Thor. A man they got from the Toronto Blue Jays in the R.A. Dickey deal. And that one's line foul. Hey, nice stop by a Mets fan in the front row. Strike one for Markakis. Syndergaard out of Mansfield, Texas, bedroom community of the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Is quickly ahead 0-2. Tom, I thought the point you made about Syndergaard, one worth elaborating on. 12 days between starts. It's not just Matt Harvey the Mets have innings concerns about.
No, they're trying to kind of nurse all their young guys really through September, and they're in a position where they can do it. So they're going to try and limit their innings, keep everybody fresh, and have them all ready to go come postseason should they continue to march their way there.
Yeah, that truly is a luxury for Terry Collins that they're not a game or two ahead of the second place club. Because you would be sitting at the edge of your seat wondering, okay, how many innings can I use this guy? And if I can't pitch him in his next start, who is going to pitch? And those could be hugely important games, et cetera, et cetera. But that's not the case for New York. That one missed low. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
This isn't just an end of the season deal that they've tried to protect these guys. He's already had 4 decisions on starts of 6 days or more. He's 1-3 in those 6 starts.
And he just missed the corner. Full count. Good battle with Nick Markakis. Getting pitch at 100.
I was going to say he's getting loose now.
Yep.
First pitch of the game was 98. He's up to 100 now.
What an at bat by Markakis. He fell behind 0-2 and earned a leadoff walk.
But maybe what drew the walk for him was how aggressive he was on those first 2 strikes. He had good swings at them, real big cuts, and fouled them back, and that may have caused Syndergaard to kind of get a little more conservative with his attack. Only 29 walks, now 30 in 122 innings for Noah.
Hector Oliveira takes a strike. Nine hits and 33 at bats for the Braves third baseman. That's taken low, even count. Gonzalez has done a nice job of mixing and matching at third base. Donis Perez got the start at the hot corner for Atlanta. Luis Garcia had a couple of hits. This one's bounced up the middle, and Flores with a throw to first gets his man. Nice play. Markakis in safely at second, but that's out number 1 of the inning.
That was a smart idea on Flores' part. I'm not sure they were going to be able to get Markakis, and he wasn't either, so he wanted to make sure he got the sure out. And did a good job of flagging that down to save a hit.
Former Brave Kelly Johnson is double play partner tonight. Kelly's at second base. Here's Freddie Freeman. Happy birthday, Freddie. 26 years young today. And that one bounced away. No chance for d'Arnaud. And Markakis 90 feet away on a very wild pitch.
I think that took a chunk out of d'Arnaud. He was a little gimpy trying to come up out of his crouch. Was it on the arm?
Forearm, maybe, yeah.
Right there, I thought it got him on the leg the way he was trying to get up.
Tonight's game, a rematch of June 20th here in Atlanta. The Braves beat the Mets 6-4 on that day. Williams Perez got the win. Jack Leathersich was the man that took the loss in relief for New York. Syndergaard gave up 3 earned runs in only 4 innings.
Tommy, I would guess that when you haven't pitched in 12 days, it might be one of those cases that you better get him early, because if he settles in and starts finding that release point, it might be a different story.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially on his secondary pitches.
Fly ball right. Granderson's charging. He can't get there. He'll play it on a hop, and Freeman has a broken bat hit, and Atlanta has a lead.
Curtis did not get a good read on this because Freddie took a full swing at it. Broke his bat, dumped it in. See him freeze out there in right field. He didn't break in on it for a long time. And were it not for the wild pitch, I'm not even sure that Markakis could have scored.
Yeah. No, it looked like he was going to be able to make up for it with his speed, but just couldn't quite get there.
So a good start for the Braves tonight. A leadoff walk is cashed in for the Atlanta offense, and that brings up A.J. Pierzynski, who, with this at bat, makes his 7,000th at bat in the big leagues. And Murphy in for a quick visit, with 1 on, 1 in, and 1 out in the first. Already 15 pitches for Noah Syndergaard.
Murphy may have gone in to talk to Syndergaard about the way he's positioned. Remember, he doesn't play that much first base. Left-handed hitter up there. He's already positioned more like an infielder than trying to hold the runner on him. Probably didn't want to get crossed up over on a throw over to first.
On June 20th, A.J. had a big day against Noah Syndergaard of the Mets. A triple, a single, a double, a 3-run score. And a high hopper right side. Kelly Johnson's going to throw to second and get the lead runner.
Nice play by Johnson here on a risky play where they had the sure thing at first base. But he's cut down the lead runner, and that might help save a run. We'll see.
Nick Swisher, 1 for 8 in the series, is batting .247 with the Braves. High fly ball left. That's well hit. Conforto, though, is going to drift back, and he'll make the play.
Boy,
Braves are 36 and 22, fellas, when they score first.
Without the win, that might have gotten out of here.
And they've scored a first inning run tonight and lead 1-0. They lead 1-0 after 1. Zombies, Walkers, and the Undead are invited to Zombie Night at Turner Field this Friday, September 18th, with Phillies in town. The ticket package includes a zombie survival kit, access to zombie makeup artists, and a pregame zombie walk around the field. For details, visit Braves.com. Good start for Williams Perez. He got the Mets in order.
And didn't take very many pitches to do it. And as we've talked about before, those first 30 are pretty indicative of his night. But a 3-up, 3-down first inning with 2 groundouts, mighty nice to see.
Yeah, it's a good start for sure. So keep that going.
Yeah, 3 outs on 10 pitches. You'll take that ratio the rest of the night as he faces David Wright, Michael Conforto, and Travis d'Arnaud for the Mets. David Wright at .287, 3 homers, 7 runs batted in. Wright playing in back-to-back games after missing almost the entire season with back issues.
Some good players come out of that Tidewater area in the last 6 to 8 years, haven't there?
Got the Upton brothers, Michael Kadires from down there, Ryan Zimmerman, David Wright,
Mark Reynolds.
And from 0-2 to a full count now for David Wright. Michael Conforto is next. Williams lost David Wright. Leadoff walk after he got ahead with 2 strikes. And now Conforto comes up.
Boy, walks last night were disastrous. Granderson led off the 3rd with a walk, scored on a double. He led off the 9th with a walk, scored on a homer. This team's hitting certainly well enough. They don't need the walks.
Yeah, you don't want to be creating opportunities for him. That's for sure.
All the walks they're drawing is one reason why they're approaching a record. They've scored 3 or more runs in 25 consecutive road games. It's the longest skid since the 1995 Reds did that 29 straight times, and the 1912 New York Giants scored that many in consecutive games 30 times. Mile-high fly ball towards center. Michael Bourne is over. He's got it. And there's the first out. After our series in Atlanta, the Mets go back home. They'll have the Marlins, the Yankees, and the Braves on a nice long homestand. 9 games in 10 days. Their final road trip takes them to Cincinnati and Philadelphia, and their final 3 games are at home against Washington. Safe to say the Mets want to make those games meaningless as far as the divisional race is concerned. Their magic number as of now is at 14 games.
Yeah, they want to go into that weekend and just have some fun.
Base hit by d'Arnaud the other way. David Wright around second. He'll make the turn and head to third. And d'Arnaud has had a good series at the plate. That continues. First and third with 1 out.
Fought that one off a little bit. Might have been trying to go that way. Kind of looked like it.
And now Kelly Johnson hits. Kelly had 2 hits and a run in the opener. That just missed. Ball 1. Certainly the acquisition of Cespedes has garnered most of the headlines for New York because of the eye-popping production he has had. But don't overlook Kelly Johnson and Juan Uribe on this Mets club and what they've meant. And Simmons tries to rob him. There's one. The turn. Double play. Beautiful. Wow. Kelly's seen life from both sides of that play as a hitter and as a Braves defender. Andrelton Simmons starts a double play and robs the Mets of a run. It's 1-0 in the second. Night's love heroics.
Great plays all over the field for the Braves last night. Freeman, Bourne, great running catch here. Castro up the middle. Play that Andrelton just made. What's impressive about it is that a lot of guys will go headlong. So they're all stretched out Superman-like, and it's hard for them to get up and throw. He stayed on his knees somehow. I was able to get that ball to Jace. Great play.
A nice turn by Jace, too.
So the Braves leading by a run. Face Syndergaard in the second. Anderson Simmons and Michael Bourne are coming up.
Is that an 88-mile-an-hour changeup?
Yeah. It's a pretty good movement, too.
And a 99-mile-an-hour fastball tipped into Darno's glove. And there's out number 1. First strikeout for Syndergaard.
Changeup away and back with a little bit of an elevated fastball. Not probably as high as he wanted it, but with 99, you can get away with that a little bit.
Another good series at the plate for Andrelton Simmons. He's had great luck against Mets pitching all year long. He has 25 hits against the Mets. Let's expound on the skipping starts, getting guys ready for October theme. You guys mentioned that rust might be an issue for Syndergaard right now. He hasn't started in 12 days for New York. They'll be very careful with Matt Harvey too. Assuming the Mets win the division, and it would take an epic collapse for them not to, I would guess. How difficult is it, Tom, to get sharp when the games matter the most? What will the Mets try to do with those guys? How will they work around the innings limits to keep them at peak performance?
Well, I mean, I think the ideally, if you're going to try and nurse them a little bit, you're going to maybe skip some starts or spread them out. You're gonna do it over the course of the next 2 weeks, and then once you settle in on who you think your guys are.
Hamilton sawed off. 2 out.
Then I think you try and go the last however many days you need to have that consistent 5-day turn twice through going into the postseason. And maybe on that last start, I know that's what we always did, you know, that last start, treat it kind of like your last start in spring training, where you back it down a little bit and maybe go 5 innings or go however many innings the guy wants to go to where he feels comfortable and he's ready to go. But you got to be careful too, because you don't want to be taking too much time off, because then you're messing with the sharpness, but you're also, you get these guys too far removed from pitching and things of that nature. Then you got to be careful sending them back out there with too much rest and throwing 100+ pitches.
Michael Bourne, the batter, with 2 outs, and he scalds one toward left. Conforto with a diving catch. Man, the glove work has been outstanding already tonight. Simmons started a great double play. Conforto takes away a hit from Michael Bourne. It's 1-0, and we go to the third.
Right stuff, low price, every day.
All season long, our friends at Delta Airlines get us from city to city. Can't wait to see Mac Honey and the ladies who treat us so nicely on our Delta charters at the end of this long homestand in Atlanta. Looky there.
I don't blame him. No, he looked at me just fine, looked at Tom, his fine, saw Chip, just started crying his eyes out.
Happens all the time. Beautiful baby, though, huh?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Man. They grow up fast. Enjoy it while you can. As we move to inning number 3. Good start for Williams Perez. His defense helped him a moment ago. Kelly Johnson with a shot to the right of Anderson Simmons. He started an inning-ending double play. And now Flores, Syndergaard, and Granderson are coming up. Wilmer Flores is the Mets shortstop tonight. And he is a big man. He is not a typically sized major league shortstop. He is tall and rangy, 6'3", 203 pounds.
How big is Tulowitzki? He's got to be in that neighborhood, right? Maybe a little heavier, maybe.
Yeah, he might even be 6'4".
Rich Tulowitzki, the Toronto Blue Jays got a scare with Tulowitzki today at Yankee Stadium. Toronto beat the Yankees in 11 innings, 9-5 today, but Tulowitzki had to leave the game in the second inning. And a ground ball to the right side by Flores. He just scooped that one out of reach of A.J. Brzezinski.
The more you see this guy, the better you like him. Defense, offense, long balls, and in this case, hitting something the other way, down and away.
That's just a good approach there.
Short swing.
Syndergaard will try to bunt. He's laid down 5 sacrifices this year. Right-handed pitcher who bats left-handed, hence the elbow guard for Noah Syndergaard. That's laid down foul. Strike one. Boy, he gets in almost a catcher's crouch as he gets set to accept the pitch from Perez.
I know what Tommy's thinking. Tommy's thinking, why would they have a guy who has a double and a homer this year? Why would they make him bunt?
I don't know. At least hit and run.
Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. That's big strike zone for Noah Syndergaard. 6'6", 242. His media guide bio picture looks a lot different than what you're seeing live.
Yeah, it does.
Another foul. This one to the left side. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Doesn't quite have all that hair in his media guide picture.
What a nice trade the Mets made. John Buck and Travis d'Arnaud and Noah Syndergaard for R.A. Dickey and Mike Nikias and Josh Tolley. And he bunts that one foul and is struck out. So Syndergaard can't help himself. 24th time he struck out this year, in the first of the night for Perez. Playoff time, you got to get those down.
Absolutely. It's a wasted opportunity.
Curtis Granderson rolled out to second his first time up. And he pulls one through the right side. That's a hit. Flores around second. He's on his way to third. And he will stand there without a throw for the moment. The failure to bunt successfully has cost the Mets a run. But Yoenis Cespedes is coming up with runners at the corners.
Another good piece of hitting by a veteran hitter with the hole open. And I was watching Flores go first to third. Boys, he can run too.
He's a shortstop right now, but he may grow into a third baseman with his size.
Yeah.
Still just a kid. And here is Cespedes. Slugging percentage of .506. And he flied out to left. And here is down a strike.
Good first pitch.
Up the middle, Peterson smothers that. Andrelton handles and completes the double play. Check your chest, Jace. That ball was smoked. But for the second time in as many innings, the Mets are doubled up, and Williams Perez protects a 1-0 lead.
Check out the base here. Chip picked this up as he went by. When Andrelton kicked the bag and got the first out. Watch this bag wiggle. That might need some attention.
So, Tommy, you're out there. You're throwing in the big leagues. You're making your 17th start. You stand in against a guy throwing 100 miles an hour. That's a lot of fun, I'll bet.
Yeah.
Rules don't state that you have to swing.
No.
Nothing in 2. Hey, pretty good cut there. And out of play. All right, who was the best hitter?
Me? I mean, or who are you talking about? I should probably wait until you ask me between who.
I was going to go with you and Tony Gwynn. So.
1 ball, 2 strikes. But you guys obviously took your hitting quite seriously. It was a friendly competition, but it was very, very important to your success, was it not?
Very serious, yeah. All right, I think we all recognize you could help yourself now and then, so the bragging part of it made us work at it. But make no mistake, our first and foremost, we were going to be able to bunt, and anything after that was gravy. But you know, like I said, I think that's where the competitiveness between all of us made us work at it, and we wanted to be good hitters.
I think it's funny that it didn't matter what it was. Let's say it's bunting. It's like you guys said, okay, we got to do this. We might as well make a contest out of it.
Absolutely. Have some fun with it, and at the same time, you're working at it. You're bearing down. You know, you have that little competition that makes you do all that stuff.
That way, Williams, he's getting him tuned in here at 99.
He's going to see an 8th pitch.
Yeah, other than Randy Johnson, I don't think I saw too many guys that could get it up there around 100 miles an hour when I was playing.
And away. I was talking with Andy MacPhail in Philadelphia. He just took over as the club president for the Phillies. And he said something in the hallway that I thought was really interesting. He said, you know, the game has changed an awful lot since I've been involved in it. Remember, he was in charge of the Orioles. As that one buzzed the tower, full count, and that's the exact point he made. A lot more guys throwing in the upper 90s now than when he was with Baltimore or even further back in Chicago and Minnesota. And this guy's legitimate. Second fastest fastball in the big leagues, and he used a 99-mile-an-hour here to get Perez, but boy, a moral victory for Williams. A lot of pitches piled up by Syndergaard there.
Williams took a hack at that one.
I just know that it was very special when there was a guy in the league that threw that hard. It was exceptional. Now, I mean, I could come up with 4 or 5 guys right off the top of my head real easily that can pop 100, including a couple on the Braves team.
Yeah, it's almost like the game's flipped. With all due respect, Tommy, there are maybe 1 or 2 guys in bullpens who pitch the way you pitched as a starter, and everybody else is in the upper 90s.
Right. No, it's like we said. It's. Hey, I don't want to diminish it, but it's true to a certain extent that.
Flores is short. Markakis is the second out.
Guys throwing in the mid-90s now are a dime a dozen. You know, I mean, it's.
Did you ever
crazy.
think you'd say that?
No. Nope.
I can remember, wasn't all that long ago when we would talk about a guy and we'd say, oh, he throws 90.
Yeah.
I mean, that was like a benchmark. He could throw 90.
Yep. Yeah, it seemed like it was 90, 91 was kind of the average fastball. Then it bumped a click to 92, 93 towards the end. And for me, anyway, now it's, I don't know what the average would be now. 94, 95, maybe.
Joe,
probably.
Would Nolan Ryan, with all due respect to his great career, would his velocity be an average guy now, or would he be in that elite class?
No, he'd be in the elite group.
He would be one of those guys?
Yeah.
To second by Oliveira. Kelly Johnson retires Hector for the third and final out of the inning. We go to the fourth. Good duel tonight, and Williams Perez winning the game 1-0.
One nothing. We had the chance to have the conversation with Freddie Gonzalez about just the frustrations that come along with this season so far for the Braves. He said, yes, losing is frustrating, but you cannot get mad at the inexperience of this team. He said you get mad when guys don't hustle or give it their all, but that's not what you get from this team. One of the positives is the effort that you've seen on defense, like last night. Guys like Daniel Castro, Freddie Freeman, Michael Bourne, to name a few. Guys just not completely giving up, but still giving their all when they're out on the field day in and day out, no matter who they're playing, guys.
Christina, thanks. I think that's a great point. It is a process, Tommy. You were part of great Braves teams here in Atlanta, certainly an integral part of them. You were also part of Braves teams that were very similar to the one we're seeing now.
Well, you know, a lot of these comparisons that are coming up now with longest losing streaks and home streaks and this and that. I was on a few of those teams, so yeah, it's not fun, and you know, it's not fun for Freddie and the guys to be going through it. But like you said, it's if you're not questioning effort, you can deal with it, you know. And then the other frustrating thing comes is, you know, guys are going to make mistakes and take their lumps and have their ups and downs. But I think you saw a tiny bit of frustration from Freddie, particularly with his young starting pitchers in Washington, when he kind of made the comment, look, you guys need to start figuring some things out here, and that's what you want to see too.
Line down the left field line by Murphy. That's a fair ball. Headed for the corner. Daniel Murphy goes the opposite way and tallies his 32nd double. And the Mets have hits in each of the last 3 innings. And 3 innings in a row, they put their leadoff man aboard.
And the double plays keep bailing Williams out after those leadoff men reach. This was just good hitting by a good hitter.
There's a couple of those changeups now that don't quite have the finish that Williams is looking for. Is moving more like we talk about east and west, doesn't have that good sinking action to it, and giving up a couple of base hits on that.
That's where I contend, Tom, if he'll pitch inside more, he can even get away with some of those mistakes on this changeup.
Absolutely. If you got guys that are taking good swings at your changeup, that's what you got to do. You got to pitch in and get them off it.
A strike to David Wright, who walked in the second inning. Perez had him behind 0-2 and lost him. But a great double play started by Andrelton Simmons. Got Perez out of second inning trouble. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Hey. Blast from the past.
2 pretty good old boys, Glavine and Lemke. Did you come up with Mark, or was he a little behind you?
No, he was my first roommate.
Was he really?
When I walked into my dorm at Pirate City, there was Lemmer.
Uh-oh.
Really?
Yeah.
What was that like?
I was in shell shock to begin with, because that was the first time I'd ever been away from home, and you know, you had a lot of young guys there and a lot of the young Latin guys there, so you know, I was in a little bit of culture shock to begin with, and then there was Lemmer, but made it even worse.
3-1 pitch. I keep thinking, I was praying when you're telling that story, it'd be like John Candy and Stripes, where you fight over the bunk. We're in Bradenton. You got to sleep on the lower bunk.
Exactly.
If this was Orlando, you get the top bunk.
Yeah. Lemmer bugged out of there a lot because he had a sister that was in Sarasota, so he was out of there as much as he could be.
Sure he did.
Right into left center. That's going to drop for a hit, and that's going to bring home Murphy. David Wright is back, and he's tied the game at a run apiece. His 8th ribby of the year.
He was aggravated that the 3-1 pitch was called a strike. He's not aggravated now. He got a hanging breaking ball and ripped it.
David Wright's power really sapped last year. He hit just 8 homers, knocked in 63, and played 134 games. But you forget, David Wright has been a 100 RBI man 5 separate times in the big leagues. And his major league high in homers was 33 in 2008 when he hit 302.
What year?
2008.
That was Shea Stadium, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
And a base hit by Conforto to right. David around second's going to throw out an anchor. Mets are playing for a big inning now. 3 consecutive hits as Perez begins to work his way through the Mets lineup a second time. And New York has tagged him for 4 hits in that stretch.
I like this guy too. Our first look at him. Good looking swing. In his first full year of professional baseball.
So a bit of a rarity for Williams Perez in this regard. Ordinarily, it's the first 31 pitches that give Williams the most trouble. New York, though, has struck for a run on 3 hits in a row here in the 4th inning. Roger McDowell's first visit.
He's been in and out of trouble in those first 30 pitches for sure. Got a couple big double play balls, so could use another one of those here.
Travis d'Arnaud is the New York catcher. He's got a hit tonight. Already 6 hits for the Mets in the game. Braves have a run on 1 hit. Tell you what, I don't envy the Mets in how they're going to put together their 25-man playoff roster if they get there. They have an embarrassment of offensive riches. And 6-7 weeks ago, I don't think there's a broadcaster or a writer who would have said that at all about Terry Collins' club.
He just figured they weren't going to get anywhere because they didn't have enough offense to support their pitching.
I loved your point, Joe, you made last night on our Home Depot tools. The team within the team that Terry Collins has. His bench is like a regular starting club.
He can put out 2 different teams on consecutive days.
Down the right field line, foul and out of play as we're a shade past 8 o'clock tonight in Atlanta.
I'm talking about this guy last night, and I like his swing a lot too. He's a good hitter. He's a better hitter than defensive player in my opinion. But watch how far he holds the bat out away from him. You've got to have really good hands and wrists, strong forearms to be able to hold the bat out there that far and have it waggle, kind of fall a little bit forward as he starts his setup to swing.
That's out of play, foul and into the club level.
Very handsy.
I asked the truck who the hitter was that had a similar stance, and Flip Feinberg reminds us Michael Morse.
Yeah.
His hands extended like that. 2-2 pitch. Popped him up. And that should be easy. It's an infield fly. Batter's out. And it's a good thing. All kinds of confusion in the center of the diamond. I think we had 2 guys speaking Spanish, 2 English. Nobody caught it. But the infield fly takes care of Travis d'Arnaud.
Well, Williams was calling for it, and then he kind of backed out last second. So either you stay in there and catch it, or you got to direct traffic. At that point in time, or at this point in time, I don't know who he thought was going to catch it, because he was standing under it.
It sounded like AJ was trying to direct traffic, but I couldn't tell what he was saying.
They never like you as the pitcher catching that ball, and obviously I would always want to catch it if I could, but generally speaking, get out of the way and call somebody. Start directing traffic.
I mean, the 2 middle infielders were coming in there too. Somebody had to go cover third.
Yeah, AJ's yelling, "Get out of the way!" I think.
Oh.
Kelly Johnson bats and drives it out of play, foul. 1 ball, 1 strike. Kelly robbed of a hit by Andrelton Simmons, who started a double play in the second. He'd love another ground ball at someone here. No harm on the dropped fly ball, the infield fly. And it's now 2-1 for Kelly Johnson.
That was a good pitch, good sinker down and in.
All the way to the backstop. Wild pitch.
I think he was trying to do the same thing again. Oh, that was a changeup. And he just pulled it.
That really hurts. Now a single might cost you 2 runs. And no double play chance unless it's a line drive and the Mets wander too far off the bag. 3 balls and a strike. Good pitch.
There was a good changeup.
Yeah, that's the one that has a good finish. Do it again.
Yeah, got a base open.
Yeah, if you miss, so what?
He did miss. Ball in the dirt. Here comes a runner home, and sliding safely in is David Wright. 2 wild pitches in the inning. Conforto takes third. Wright scores. Kelly Johnson at first on the base on balls. And the Mets have grabbed the lead now, 2-1.
Last night they took the lead on a balk. I couldn't tell if that was glove or shin guard.
AJ's fired up. He's trying to get Perez rolling here. His defense has helped him over the first 3 innings, but a couple of wild pitches have hurt him badly here in the 4th. Bouncing ball up the middle. Simmons has it. Flips to Peterson. Bare hand. Throw to first. Got him again. 3 double plays in as many innings. That one ends the 4th, but not before the Mets score twice. 2-1 New York. Time for tonight's Home Depot tools from the dugout.
Rookie starters this season for the Atlanta Braves. 22 games, 9-13 record. And
this young man's a good one. Noah Syndergaard for New York. And Freddie Freeman will lead things off. Well, good news, bad news half inning for Williams Perez. Bad news is he gave up 3 hits, gave up a walk. A couple of wild pitches hurt him. Good news is got the ground ball he needed to limit the damage.
Kept out of the big inning.
So you're down a run. And the heart of the order's coming up. 8 straight retired by Syndergaard after Freddie Freeman's broken bat hit in the first gave the Braves a 1-0 lead. And strike 2. And now d'Arnaud wants to talk things over. You know about the Mets' big lead in the East. They're in another race as well. The Mets are trying to pass the Dodgers. That would in all likelihood be their first round playoff matchup. Right now the Dodgers have a 1/2 game lead over New York. The Mets would love to have home field advantage in that playoff series, quite obviously.
Yeah, they've been a much better home team than road team. They're still 2 games under 500 on the road. However, the Mets since July 1st have the best road record in baseball at 25-11.
Two balls, 2 strikes, and out of play, foul. Arizona clobbered the Dodgers yesterday. One of those days for Alex Wood. He gave up a ton of runs, and they're in action tonight. Dodgers 1, Arizona 0. That's in the first inning. Here it's 2-1 Mets in the 4th. And back to the screen, out of play. Cardinals lost twice today. The completion of their suspended game yesterday went Cincinnati's way 4-2. And then in the regularly scheduled game, the Reds beat the Red Birds 5-1. Cardinals are not playing real well right now. If they're not careful, either the Pirates or the Cubs are going to be right on their heels. Cardinals have made 5 errors in their series against the Reds so far, and they're suffering through a 3-8 September. And they have a lot of games left with Chicago and Pittsburgh in the final weeks. Swing and a miss, 100 miles an hour, and Freddie is down on strikes.
That's a nice fall back. When in doubt, just let her fly.
Let it fly. 100 close to the plate.
9 up, 9 down for Syndergaard. Here's A.J. Przinsky. He hit into a force play his first time up and cues this one foul. Strike 1. So the Cardinals losing twice today. The Pittsburgh Pirates are home to Milwaukee and winning 5-0. They could pull to within 2.5 games of the divisional lead if they win their game. Into the shift, and a long throw from Kelly Johnson, who is playing the rover. The shift was by Kelly Johnson and Kelly Johnson alone, playing deep in shallow right, and AJ is out number 2. Here's Swisher. Nick flied out his first time up. Keep an eye on his former team, the Cleveland Indians. They're making a late push. Cleveland's 4.5 back in the AL wildcard race. Fun time of year for baseball fans as the races tighten up, and with the 2 wild card spots in each league, there's a lot of leapfrogging possibilities for playoff spots and or positioning. Ripped foul and out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Those guys were decked out, weren't they? I bet they came from the football game.
A lot of awkward swings off this guy so far tonight. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
We talk about it all the time. When you're throwing that hard, you got to cheat to get to that fastball. He throws anything off speed around the plate, and you get a chance to have some ugly swings.
And you want to yell at the catcher.
Maybe something off speed. 1-2 pitch. At 93, it was down and away. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
That might have been a 2-seamer.
I think it was.
Yeah.
Might throw it again. Ooh, hit the glove, but it was off the plate.
A 90-mile-an-hour changeup. That makes me mad.
Yeah.
Well, he took a little off. Tommy threw that one at 89 for you.
Yeah.
Wow. Nothing happening in the Braves' 4th. 11 straight have been retired. 2-1 Mets. The major leagues with news and notes of important tonight. Let's start with the Boston Red Sox. An historic blast off the bat of Big Papi, David Ortiz. That's home run number 500 in his major league career.
Congratulations to him. Big milestone.
Some great notes on that. David Ortiz, the 4th player in Major League history with 500 or more homers and 3 or more World Series titles. How about these names? Mickey Mantle, Reggie Jackson, Babe Ruth.
That's good company.
As Syndergaard bats and slashes 1 foul, John Heyman of CBS Sports Online had this note about Ortiz: might be one of the best free agent signings in history. The Boston Red Sox signed David Ortiz for $1.25 million in 2003. He's had 446 homers since.
What'd John say about this game? Anything?
He's been impressed with Noah Syndergaard throwing.
Me too. Williams is pitching a good game too.
100+ miles an hour. Perez has gotten 3 double plays behind him tonight. He's got 2-1 to the pitcher, and it just missed. 3 balls, 1 strike. Perez had that great battle at the plate in the 3rd inning against Syndergaard. Took him 10-11 pitches before he struck out.
Yeah, it was interesting. D'Arnaud, almost as if Syndergaard had covered first on a ground ball. After that out, D'Arnaud went to the mound and talked to Syndergaard like, take a breather.
Yeah.
So Williams will make an 8th pitch to the Mets pitcher. And he got him. Belt high right down Broadway, and Syndergaard was frozen.
He threw a Syndergaard changeup to him, 89. Got through the order in fine shape through the first time. They got the runs last inning thanks to the help of a couple of wild pitches. But hopefully hold him right there and let the offense pick him up.
Crowd doing the wave as Granderson takes one at the knees. Base is empty, 1 out. 0-2. And Fred, he leaps at first and makes the grab. 2 out. He started leaping and the ball hadn't gotten to him yet. Thought he might have mistimed it at first. No trouble for the Braves first baseman. 2 out. And here again is Cespedes.
Boy, this guy's going. You don't go to the concession stand. Especially after that home run he hit last night.
Might have broken his bat. Simmons at short. Long throw. Got his man. Well, Williams Perez having another good night. Back-to-back excellent starts for the Braves youngster. Now he needs a run to get it tied. To the 5th inning tonight, game 3 of our series. Time for tonight's Cold Hard Facts, brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light.
Has to do with the Braves' record this season against teams with a winning record or 500. .323 winning percentage, and they've taken better care of business against sub 500 teams. Braves with that loss last night at home. First time all year they've dipped below 500 at home.
Last time the Braves had a win against a winning team, hard to believe, July 26th when they beat the Cardinals 3-2 in St. Louis. See if they can come back tonight, beat the Mets behind Williams Perez. 1 ball, no strikes for Jace Peterson.
And this 10-game losing streak at home has really put a dent in what was a good home record.
Dump down the left field line. That's going to get down for a hit. Conforto's got it. He's going to throw to second. Peterson is going to be out. He was thinking 2 out of the box, but Conforto got to it at the line, and he threw a strike. 1 out.
Liking this guy. Fought off by Jace, but you're right, Chip. He was hustling out of the box. And this almost squirted away from Conforto over toward foul territory right there. So he did a nice job of recovering and made a good throw.
Ooh, are the Braves going to look at that? Jace is off the bag there. Kelly Johnson's glove was between the legs of Peterson. The front foot appeared to touch before the tag was applied to the back foot. Watch. Hadn't touched him there.
Yeah, I could see something. It was a heads up from the truck that it looked like his leg brushed that little leather strap on the back of his web of his glove.
And that is part of the glove. So if those laces touch the uniform and the glove body didn't, that's still considered a tag.
Absolutely it would.
So the crowd seeing the replay we're showing you now.
See those little laces?
Yep.
Those little laces are moving. That's all it takes. Otherwise the back foot and the front foot get to the glove and bag at the same time.
And the crowd now seeing the close-up shot with the very top of the webbing and those laces touching the leg of Jace Peterson. So the Braves are challenging the call. The call at second base was out. And we'll see what New York has to say about this play at second base. If it's overturned, the Braves will have the tying run in scoring position and nobody out. And he is out. Not by an eyelash, but a leather lace. So the call at second stands. Nice throw by Conforto. Good try by Peterson, but he's out number 1. Andrelton grounded out his first time and takes slow. 1 ball, no strikes. Syndergaard has to work 5 with the lead to qualify for the victory. And we'll see how much further he goes in the game tonight. That is an ongoing barometer for these young Mets starters. Every inning they can save them now is an inning they might have in the final days of this month and on into October. 2 balls, no strikes. And down the right field line. Told you earlier how Much good work Andleton has done against the Mets. That's our Georgia lottery hitting the jackpot feature.
And he's 5 for 9 in this series. 54 games in his career, 25 RBIs, 22 multi-hit games. And man, has he played some defense against them.
That might have been what he was talking with Darno about. Might have said, hey, thanks for not doubling me up.
Yeah.
Well, the great plays he's made it short against the Mets catcher.
Tommy, one of the things that Noah Syndergaard does that's impressive, he's 6'6". He's a big, strong guy. But some tall guys don't pitch tall. They don't stay tall. And he does.
He does. Stays tall on that back leg and throws downhill. You know, a lot of guys, and I think that's what, you know, happens with a lot of power pitchers is, you know, they that drop and drive kind of guys where they drop on that back leg and try to really drive. Almost Tom Seaver, I guess, was the first guy that really perfected that, so to speak. But, you know, guys will do that to try and get velocity, but makes it a little bit tougher to throw downhill, so to speak, and get that downward action on your pitches. But he does a good job, like I say, of he's what, 6'6". He stays 6'6" through his delivery.
Base is empty. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And that ball in the dirt, and Simmons didn't get it. The peg to first in time. There's the second out. And that's 6 strikeouts for Syndergaard tonight.
You asked about Nolan Ryan earlier, Chip. If Nolan would have been in this elite group, and he absolutely would have been. I mean, I think about Nolan's windup and that high leg kick. He almost kind of got into a crouch almost because his knee almost hit himself in the head. And then he just kind of exploded out of that and was, I don't know if he was max effort. It looked max effort as hard as he was throwing. Some of these guys these days, Rodis Vizcaíno's one of them. There's not a lot of max effort to it. The ball just jumps out of their hand.
Yeah, we talked about it with the kid last night for the Mets. Matz?
Steven Matz?
Yeah. Wasn't a max effort, or didn't appear to be a max effort, but ball got on the hitters quick.
Hey, Matt Whistler was throwing 95 at times last night. He pitched an excellent game for Atlanta. Good to see him coming around for the Braves. He gave up only 2 runs in his 6 innings of ball last night. As Joe mentioned, the balk is what cost him the lead, and the lead the Mets never relinquished.
See, that was 99. If his fastball is down around the knees, the angle, the geometric angle from his hand to that spot where the catcher catches the ball is dynamite.
Oh, that was electric. 7 strikeouts for the National League rookie strikeout leader. Syndergaard's got 7 of them tonight. He's gone 5 innings with a 2-1 lead. Comes after the number 5. That would be 6. That's how many strikeouts Syndergaard has, not 7. So I gave him credit for 1 too many. All right, so he's got 6 officially through 5 innings. And here's the real trivia question brought to you by AT&T Universe. Daniel Murphy, over the last 4 years, has 21 doubles against the Braves. That's more than any other opposing hitter. Which player has hit the second highest total of 2 base hits against the Braves over the last 4 years?
Stanton.
Doubles.
Oh, here are the standings, by the way.
I'm beating Chipper. That's good.
Yeah, we haven't heard from Chipper in a long time.
On a prorated basis, Tommy, you might be way up there in second place.
Yeah, right? I mean,
out of however many games.
I've gotten a few right at home, too, but I just don't get the chance to call them in.
Yeah. Yeah, another overwhelmingly good year for the truck, which does not show us the questions until you see them with us at home. So we are at a distinct disadvantage in more ways than one. 1 ball, no strikes for Murphy, who doubled and scored tonight. And he shoots one down the right field line. That one's headed for the corner. And Murphy has another 2-base hit.
Fitting.
Yep. And let's try to add a 3rd run here in the 6th. 33rd double.
That's a lot. Change up.
Yep. That's 33 doubles in 114 games, by the way, for Murphy. Perfect night at the plate so far for David Wright.
Takes a little bit of steam out of Wright, trying to, if he was going to try to go to the right side. It was a good pitch call there by AJ. A little off the plate, see if he'd chase it.
Didn't get it. That was tipped and caught. And Perez strikes out David Wright. Number 3 for Perez. And here's Conforto. What a year for young Michael Conforto, who began the season in A-ball. Then was promoted to Double-A May 29th. Hit .312 at Binghamton. And then was called up to the Mets July 24th and made his big league debut that night.
I hear that is quite a leap to go from Binghamton, New York to the Big Apple.
Yeah.
That's not just going from the minor leagues to the big leagues. That's not just going from Double-A to the big leagues. That's quite a leap.
And they were really reluctant to do that. They were worried about him being rushed or overmatched at the big league level, which is certainly an understandable concern. But with Kelly Johnson and Uribe and now Cespedes, he doesn't have to be the hitting hero. Get down in the order, put the ball in play, catch everything in the outfield. And knock on wood, from the Mets perspective, he's done exactly that.
Well, you're always mindful and careful of not calling a guy to the big leagues to be overmatched, but you got to be really mindful of that in the big marketplaces.
and in a pennant race. Last 24 games hitting .333, 5 homers.
Darno's on deck. 3 balls and a strike for Michael Conforto.
He's smart here.
And he lost him. He'll start anew with the catcher Travis d'Arnaud. He's returned 3 double plays behind Perez. One's in order here in the 6th with 2 on, 1 out. There is action in the Braves bullpen as Perez gets ready for pitch number 83 tonight. Paints a corner.
And it was down. He's had good movement on his fastball tonight. Hence the 3 double play balls. Needs another one.
Up the middle. Peterson can't get it. It's off his glove and into shallow left field. The run is in. d'Arnaud with a base hit drives home Daniel Murphy. Conforto all the way around to third base. Guys got the ground ball, but it was in a perfect spot for the Mets.
But it was hit sharply, Chip, and it was a pitch that was up, at least belt high. Nice effort by Jace again, just couldn't knock it down.
Yeah, it seems to be the one thing he's struggled with a little bit tonight is back-to-back pitches where they finish down in the zone, whether they be the sinker or the changeup. Threw a great changeup or sinker for strike 1, and that same one we've been talking about that just kind of doesn't have that finish on it, stays up a little bit, and that's the difference between a ground ball and a hit.
Kelly's also hitting to a double play tonight. Beauty turned by the Braves in the 2nd. Here it comes. Back to the mound. There's one. Simmons with a golden arm takes care of Kelly Johnson, who's doubled up for a 2nd time. Again, Perez doing an excellent job of limiting the damage. The Mets add a run in the 6th. They extend their lead to 3-1. Pitcher spot due first for the Braves when we come back. to the bottom of the 6th inning. The middle infield defense of the Braves has not been a problem all year long, and they've turned 4 more double plays tonight.
Lead the National League in that category. Pittsburgh, the only contender among those teams for a postseason berth. Now, the middle infield defense has been very good.
So the end of the night has come for Williams Perez. The Braves will pinch hit for him in the 6th inning. It's Pedro Siriaco leading off. 6 innings of 3-run ball for Perez, and the first pitch bounced to short. Flores fires to first, and Siriaco's retired, 1 out. So considering how the second half began for Williams Perez after the ankle injury, his last two starts, I beg your pardon, Joe, have been markedly improved.
Absolutely. The 2 wild pitches were instrumental tonight in the 2-run 4th inning. But they kept getting their leadoff men on him. Both innings they've scored. It was a leadoff double that got it started on what appeared to be high changeups.
And certainly, while you'd love to see results in the win column, at this point you look for baby steps going forward. And Whistler last night, Perez tonight. Giving the Braves 6 innings of work.
No, I think that's part of, like we talked about, with Freddie's frustration in Washington and saying these guys need to start figuring some things out. I mean, that's 2 good steps in the right direction, and guys taking the opportunity to go out there. And
nice play by Murphy. Syndergaard to the bag, and it's the Mets' turn to make a great play with the leather. Nick was robbed of a double.
Boy, there's been some great defense these last couple nights.
Got a tall target too. The 6th inning has been a real problem for Syndergaard too, and he's gotten the first 2 guys tonight. The 6th inning, he has an ERA of 8.78, and 6 of the 15 home runs he's allowed have come in the 6th inning, which might give you kind of a line of demarcation for him where he starts to fatigue a little bit.
He's gotten Oliveira to ground out twice, and that one
grazed him, didn't it?
I thought that's what Chris Siegel was signaling, but I guess not. Close call inside, 1 ball, no strikes.
When he threw both hands in the air, I thought it either hit him or then it was a foul ball. I guess neither one. Maybe it just hit the glove.
Pitch count not an issue on a cool night. Syndergaard hasn't had many stressful innings. In fact, he retired 11 straight at one point.
Only 2 fly ball outs for a power pitcher. That's unusual too.
Yeah, it's very impressive.
And he's doing it on the road, which has been a problem for Syndergaard this year too. He's had the Braves to 2 hits, 2 balls, 2 strikes, and it's short. Wilmer's got it, and his peg to first in plenty of time. It's 3 up, 3 down, and we head to the 7th. Syndergaard and the Mets in command late. favorite 6 at Turner Field.
Well, if you've been watching tonight, there's been a clinic put on around the second base bag. The Braves have turned 4 double plays tonight. Slick one here, started by Jace Peterson. How about that toss to the bare hand from Andrelton? And the last out's recorded by Williams Perez. Comebacker to him. Perfect feed to Andrelton to get that one started. Good defense.
That's what's kept it close. Now we'll see if the Braves bullpen can do that, which has been an issue. Since July 31st, the Braves bullpen has really been rocked. And in the 7th, 8th, and 9th innings of this series, Braves have allowed 7 runs to the Mets.
Yeah, it's been games just like this too, where the Braves are in striking distance and then the bullpen comes in and allows add-on runs. 2 nights ago it was a 1-run ball game and the Mets got 1 in the 7th, 1 in the 8th, and 2 in the 9th. Last night 1 in the 8th and 2 in the 9th. 7 through 9, worst in baseball in run differential since August 1.
Yeah, sorry, Chip. That makes it tough for you to win ball games. You know, when you're having that kind of differential late in the game, it's tough.
So Kelly has the 8, 9, and 1 hitters for the Mets. Syndergaard is in the on-deck circle. And Flores, 1 for 2, leads off. 2 balls, no strikes to him. That's out of play, foul. 2 balls and a strike.
Perez did a great job of keeping the game manageable for the offense to have a chance. And for the last 2 nights, same thing for the starting pitcher, and it's turned sour. So hopefully tonight a different story. If it finishes up 3-1, so be it. But at least you've held them at bay and given the offense a chance.
Popped him up. Michael Bourne in center will have plenty of room to grab this one off the bat of Flores. He's got it. 1 out. And Syndergaard will stay in the game, as Tom mentioned. First start in 12 days, and he's only thrown about 80 pitches.
Yeah, I think for me, if I'm kind of looking at these guys and trying to figure out how to baby him, so to speak, through it, I think I'm paying more attention to their pitch count than I am their innings. And he's been pretty low tonight, and like you said, some pretty stress-free innings thus far.
And wouldn't you also take in consideration when you expect him to pitch next?
Absolutely.
So if he's going to get another 6 or 7 days off in between.
That's well hit, but playable for Michael Bourne. This time in left center. 2 outs. Well, with that in mind, if Syndergaard's next start is 6 or 8 days away, where are the Mets? Well, that would be the Yankees. They have the Marlins, Yankees, and Braves on their long homestand coming up.
Well, if you've got any question of who you want in your rotation going into the postseason, I'd try and line those 3 of those guys up for that Yankee series, because if you want to give those guys a taste of the playoffs and a taste of what that atmosphere is going to be like, that'd probably be a good place to start.
You bet.
Yeah, New York will be up for grabs. The game's at Citi Field. Yankees will be without Mark Teixeira. As we told you last night, they found a fracture. Big loss for the Yankees. 1 ball, no strikes. Kelly hit the glove. It's even. Granderson 1 for 3 tonight. He has hit a 3rd inning single. And Michael Bourne is a busy lad. He'll handle 3 flyouts, and Kelly does a nice job. 3 up, 3 down, and we head to the 7th inning stretch. Freddie Freeman, A.J. Brzezinski, and Nick Swisher are coming up. As Atlanta will try to help itself offensively. They have a run on 2 hits. They'll try to help out the rest of the league in our series wrap-up tomorrow, 1 o'clock our airtime.
Tommy, I think you're going to like this, watching this guy pitch tomorrow. Ryan Weber did himself proud in his first start in Philadelphia the other night. Could easily have won the game.
Yeah, I know a lot of people talking after that game about how well he pitched and how impressed they were with him. So absolutely looking forward to seeing him go out there a second time. And for Jonathan Neese, you know, he's going to want to go out there and, like we've talked about with Syndergaard, try and keep himself in the conversation for a postseason roster spot.
As Joe mentioned, only 2 flyouts for Syndergaard tonight. As we play the late innings tonight, we look forward to our Chevron starters Neese and Weber in Game 4 tomorrow. Freddie Freeman has one of the 2 hits. A single in the first brought home Nick Markakis. And that one is a foul ball. 1-1 your count. Mentioned Daniel Murphy and his good work defensively for the Mets. This is his 14th start for them as their first baseman. Most of his playing time has been at second base, and he's also started 40 games at third.
And I think most of that work at third base was before they got Uribe.
He's still throwing 98 into the 7th inning. Wow.
That's a 2-seamer. What you thought might have been a 2-seamer earlier.
Uh-huh.
At least I thought it was.
Yeah, I think it is. I think
90. Oh no!
Change up. Yeah.
Good camera work, fellas.
How about Syndergaard? He's faced the minimum since the start of the 2nd inning.
I'll tell you what, you're throwing 99, 100, and then you can throw that changeup with that movement. That's kind of unfair.
I mean, look at AJ. He had a big day against this guy earlier this year in Atlanta, and tonight Syndergaard's made several Braves hitters take some very, very uncomfortable swings. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And that's why, I mean, I think for him tonight, even being a power guy who are typically not ground ball guys, that's why he's getting a lot of ground balls. Everything's been down on the zone, whether it's his 4-seamer or his breaking ball, changeup.
Another one.
Now to second, Kelly Johnson with the long throw from the outfield grass. 2 out. As Przinsky's retired, and here's Swisher. Now the Mets bullpen gets to work, as Terry Collins' plan apparently is to let Syndergaard get through the first 5 hitters for the Braves and then turn things over to his bullpen in the late innings.
Well, like we said, he's been struggling a touch coming in. He's really struggled on the road. You know, to me, this is his last hitter. Get him through this inning feeling good about himself and turn it over to what's been a very good bullpen.
1 ball, no strikes.
Was Nolan Ryan number 34 with the Mets? Talked about the not so ironic part about Matt's wearing 32.
Right. I don't know. It's a good question.
I know he wore 34 in a couple of different places. Might have been 30 with the Mets. He was 30 with the Mets. Well, he's from Mansfield, Texas, as you said, Chip, which is a suburb of Dallas. But another hard-throwing Texan. I'm told the first time Nolan got called up, though, with the Mets, he wore 34. That was in '66.
Just think if he had stayed a Met.
Traded for Jim Fregosi, wasn't he?
I think you're right.
The Angels.
2 balls, 2 strikes. And Swisher swings and misses. Darno pounces and makes the strike. Noah Syndergaard faced the minimum over his final 6 innings of work and was very impressive. 3-1 New York.
The Braves 3-1. Good news for Cameron Maybin today, who's been dealing with a long bout with an eye infection. He saw a specialist. He's feeling a lot better and is eyeing a possible Tuesday return to the lineup. We talked to Cameron today about how it's been so frustrating for him because you can go all season long playing through injuries and working through games with some pain, but when you can't really see much, it's hard to control anything. Cameron tried to work through a few games, but it just wasn't working for him. He said he's finally happy to get those contacts back in. He was getting a little flack for the glasses around the clubhouse, guys.
Yeah, Christine, I gave him a little heat in Philadelphia. I told him it looked like Mars. Remember Spike Lee?
Mars Blackman.
Yeah. Mars Blackman.
Yeah.
He looked at me like I had 2 heads. He had no idea who he was. Oh, Bo Porter walked by and he went, you know, Spike Lee, Mars Blackman. He went, oh, yeah, okay. Well, that's pretty good. Okay.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, Christina, nice pun. He's eyeing a return. We got that. Nice work. As we will see the Toronto Blue Jays here on Tuesday night. Yoenis Cespedes leads off the 8th inning. Edwin Jackson will face him. Kelly did a nice job in relief. 3 up and 3 men down. A strike. What an amazingly impactful trade Sandy Alderson pulled off to acquire Yoenis Cespedes. After everyone who followed the Mets was hammering him relentlessly for not adding a guy at the deadline, then the deal that was it with Milwaukee took place. The Carlos Gomez trade. Well, then he went out and got Cespedes, who was going to be a free agent, and Dave Dombrowski decided to sell with the Tigers. And after that fire sale in Detroit, Dave Dombrowski was let out of his contract and is now working for the Boston Red Sox. Two balls, 1 strike. And a roller foul. From Bringing the Lumber feature, brought to you by Yellowwood.
Oh, my, did that have the sound. 3-0 count, high and inside, almost into the second deck.
Tonight, Cespedes is playing in his 39th game with the Mets. In 102 games with the Tigers, he had 18 homers. He's hit 15 in the National League. Fading over near the tarp, won't have a play. That's 10 rows up.
Tommy, do you still subscribe to that? See more fastballs in the National League? Remember the old days? The American League was more of a breaking ball league.
Yep. I think so. I think National League pitchers still pitch more off their fastball than the American leaguers do.
3 balls, 2 strikes for Yoenis Cespedes. Bases empty, nobody out. And out of play. We want to welcome our nationwide audience watching Fox Sports 1 to Atlanta, Georgia, with Joe Simpson and Tom Glavine. Chip Carrier with you from Turner Field. Noah Syndergaard and Williams Perez hooked up in Game 3 tonight. Syndergaard was brilliant. 7 innings of 8 strikeout, 2 hit ball. And he faced the minimum over his final 6 innings of work. Atlanta starter Williams Perez gave up 3 runs in 6 innings and got 4 double play balls behind him tonight. An excellent defensive effort for the Braves in Game 3 as well. So we'll get you back to the Tigers and Indians. Those of you joining us tonight as soon as we can. Pitch to Cespedes is popped a mile high and foul back toward us. Still a full count.
Well, we just showed the home run that Cespedes hit last night. I would guess that Tiger fans probably wouldn't want to see that again.
So Edwin Jackson in relief, third Braves pitcher tonight. And a high fly ball belted deep left. Cespedes is going to be successful again. It's over the wall. Yoenis Cespedes has homered to left.
It looked something like that. He can turn on that stuff inside.
Yeah, last night was a fastball up and in. That one was a breaking ball left over the heart of the plate. Not quite as majestic as last night's, but counts the same.
Great try. Great effort by Nick Swisher.
The Mets now with 22 homers in their last 12 games. 79 homers since the All-Star break. Cespedes has hit 16 of them. And for the 26th straight game on the road, the Mets have tallied 3 or more runs. Daniel Murphy to center. And there's the first out.
And there's more of those add-on runs in the late innings that we were talking about.
Since July 31st, the Braves have now been outscored by 42 runs in innings 7, 8, and 9. And in this series alone, the Mets have scored 8 runs over the final 3 innings in 3 games.
Yeah, these two teams are kind of the polar opposite when it comes to the last 3 innings of the game right now.
David Wright has an RBI hit and takes outside. Mets' magic number to win the division is 14 games. They lead in Atlanta tonight 4-1. The Nationals are losing again 2-0 to Jose Fernandez. That game's in the 7th inning. And former Nat Tyler Clippard begins to loosen up. He'll follow Syndergaard tonight. Sharply hit. Simmons dives, scrambles to his feet. Long throw. He got him. What a play by Andrelton Simmons, who's putting on a clinic at short.
Get better than that. The game has some great shortstops in it in both leagues right now, but nobody compares to this guy. Hard hit ball too.
David Wright and Travis d'Arnaud will now have something to talk about. As the Braves shortstop took away a hit. And 2 outs for Michael Conforto. The New York left fielder's got a single and a walk tonight. To the right side, Jace Peterson's got it, and that retires the side. Yoenis Cespedes hits a home run to left field. That extends the Mets' lead to 4-1 in Game 3 in Atlanta. Cespedes now with 16 homers as a Met. Noah Syndergaard is out of the ball game for New York. Tyler Clippard is on to face the Braves. There was a time when this young man was a very frustrated pitcher when he faced the Atlanta offense.
Those numbers against the Braves don't lie, and here's the reaction. Thank goodness the bench was padded. He was smart enough to use his left hand.
Yeah. With all the focus on the offensive acquisitions made by the Mets, this one might be one of the better under radar moves that Sandy Alderson made, to get Tyler Clippard, an experienced late inning man, to help out the New York relief corps, a relief corps that's been awfully good the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, they've only given up 1 run as a group in their last 17 2/3 innings with 25 strikeouts.
Clippard's got the 6, 7, 8 hitters due for the Braves. That means Jace Peterson, Andrelton Simmons, and Michael Bourne are coming up. Braves led 1-0 in the first. That lead held till the 4th. New York got 2 in that frame, 1 in the 6th, 1 in the 8th, and that's where we stand tonight.
Lagares in center. Cespedes moves to left.
First time we've seen Lagares in the series.
He's battled injuries all year.
And a good start. Tyler Clippard walks the leadoff man. The Braves need base runners.
Syndergaard only walked the one man. He was the first batter of the ball game. And after a ground out, that runner Markakis moved to second, went to third on a wild pitch, and scored on a bloop. That's how the Braves got their run. Great numbers for the Mets this season. And as Chip said last night, that's even after their closer got suspended and then got suspended again.
That's tough to do. Henry Mejia suspended twice.
Apparently he figured it out.
Yeah.
How to do it.
Yeah. As Andrelton Simmons bats 0 for 2. And Dan Warthen may have spotted something. And he makes his way nimbly to the mound. Good to see Dan back in uniform for the Mets. They got a scare the other night. He was hospitalized with an elevated heartbeat. But Terry Collins said he spoke to Dan Warthen, said he's in the hospital having a piece of cake, so I'm not too concerned about him. And he's back and in Atlanta tonight. We're with you tomorrow. Finale of the home portion of our schedule with the Mets. We have a trip to New York forthcoming. Braves live at 1 o'clock. First pitch 1:35. Ryan Weber, Jonathan Neese will be the Game 4 starters. See if the Braves can rally in the 8th and 9th. Yes, he did. Simmons didn't think so.
I'd have to watch the replay to see him pull it back because I thought he went for it too.
Yeah.
Little poke at it. That hurt him.
Foul away. A ball and 2 strikes. Tyler Clippard, a 1.48 ERA with the Mets. 4 earned runs in 24 1/3 innings. Has 2 wins and 8 holds since he was acquired July 27th. That's the other thing. Mets were able to acquire all these players and gave up no major league talent. They didn't have to give up any of their arms. They didn't have to trade Zach Wheeler. And they kept all of those big pieces and got exactly what they needed. Brilliant work by Sandy Alderson. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And Andrelton didn't get it. 9 Braves have been struck out tonight, and that's an abnormally high total for this club, which has been a much better contact team this year. Braves went from 2 from the bottom in strikeouts per plate appearance last season to number 1 most plate appearances between strikeouts this year. That's remarkable work. And Michael Bourne bats with a man aboard, 1 out. Check swing, almost a thing of beauty, but foul.
Well, on a night where the starting pitcher's averaging better than a strikeout per inning pitched, and did tonight, and then the relievers got 58 strikeouts in 63 innings, you're going to rack up a few.
Nothing in 1 for Bourne. Line drive into center field off Clippard. So maybe it's the good old times for the Braves against the current Mets relief pitcher. 2 on, 1 out, and the tying run comes to the plate. And Dan Worthen hits the bullpen phone. And it's Adonis Garcia.
Fastball just straight as a string. Good swing by Michael, lining it to center. Garcia has a tendency in these situations when he's in the game and playing third base to come up and swing at the first pitch when the guy's in trouble. I know pinch hitting, everybody professes, you know, swing at that first good pitch you get, and that's understandable, but I hope he gets a good pitch to hit in this at bat.
Swing and a drive. First pitch launched deep into the seats. Garcia unloads, and with one mighty clout, the Braves have tied the Mets.
Well, I think he tried to pitch him, Joe, with that thought process in mind, but he hung a changeup. Trying to go change up in, it looked like, and just threw it more than belt high, and he smoked it.
Deja vu for Tyler Clippard in Atlanta. Only the second hit for Garcia with a man in scoring position as a Brave, and he tomahawked it deep into the night. 4-4 score. Perez is off the hook. Syndergaard's good work wasted. And now it's a battle of the bullpens. And a strike to Nick Markakis.
And the Braves continue to haunt Tyler Clippard.
Base is empty, 1 out. Now we're in the top of the lineup card. Downstairs, even count.
Years ago, it seemed like the Royals had a pitcher named Jerry Don Gleaton, a left-hander, and even in spring training, inter-squad games, all that stuff, George Brett just wore him out and was always telling him, I'm in your head. Jerry Don goes to the Tigers. First time he faces George laces a base hit to center.
Popped up. Wilmer Flores at short. 2 out.
And after the single all the way down to first, George is yelling, I'm in your mind. I'm in your mind. There are several Braves that could do the same thing with Clippard running down the line, and he'd get it.
Yeah. All I know is that the dugout bench padding on the third base side might take a little punishment no matter how this inning ends. As Hector Olivera bats, he's 0 for 3. First career pinch hit homer for Adonis Garcia, ties the game in the Atlanta 8th.
You know something else? How about that button that was pushed by Freddie Gonzalez? He could have sent up a left-handed hitter, a switch hitter, and Cunningham if he wanted. But he sent Garcia up, who had a chance to tie it up with one swing, and boy did he.
And Adonis has had an act for big home runs for the Braves. I don't know the total, but a good number of his homers have put the Braves in front this year. That was a tying homer, but man, oh man, was it a biggie. And you're right. Freddie Gonzalez and the right man at the right time for the Braves tonight. Hector was thinking home run, and that's fouled away. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Soft 2-hopper out to Kelly Johnson, who bobbled it and recovered in time to get Hector Olivera. What an inning for Atlanta. A walk, a single, and a pinch hit home run off Tyler Clippard. And just like that, the Braves have new life. We go to the 9th. 4-4 your score. We've seen that expression before.
I feel for him. I've probably done it myself once or twice.
So the man of the hour is the man at third base for Atlanta, Adonis Garcia. Pinch hit homer ties it up and sends us to the 9th, where Arodys Vizcaino will pitch for the Braves. Vizcaino working back-to-back nights.
Well, he got touched up for some runs last night, a third of an inning, 3 hits, 3 runs. But this is the first meaningful game for him in a while. I know he'll have better stuff tonight than he had.
In the 8th inning, Vizcaino last night gave up a couple of hits, and then Christian Bethancourt had a very, very tough passed ball that brought home a 3rd run. And then Cespedes in the 9th inning hit the long homer to left, and that put it out of reach. So here's d'Arnaud. 2 hits for the Mets catcher, including an RBI single in the 6th. No balls, 2 strikes. When we get to the bottom of the inning, the Braves are going to have the right guys up at the right time. Freeman, Przinsky, and Swisher. Fly ball toward right. Markakis retreats. He's on the warning track, can't get it. It's over his head, and it's a ground rule double for d'Arnaud. An opposite field 2-base hit with 2 strikes. He's got 3 hits.
Talked about how the ball jumps off his bat, and that was a high fastball. Long run, deepest part of the park for Nick.
As we said earlier tonight, the wind is blowing toward that part of the park, and it might have gotten up into the slipstream. So now Eric Young Jr. pinch runs for d'Arnaud, and Kelly Johnson's in the batter's box. Kelly's hitting the 2 double plays tonight. One of them cost him an RBI. Joe said it a million times about Kelly Johnson. He can hit anybody's fastball. Let's hope he can't hit Vizcaíno's tonight. He did. Base hit to right. Here comes Young around third. And the Mets have come right back to take the lead 5-4.
'99. He turned on the '99. Got him over, got him in with one swing.
Yeah, he did.
So New York takes the lead back 5-4, and Lucas Duda is going to pinch hit.
Here comes their second team.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
And by second, I don't mean second string either.
6th pinch hit assignment for Duda this year. Mets are careful with him as he comes back from a bad back. Braves bullpen begins to stir again as Vizcaíno's given up a hit on an 0-2 pitch. A single to Kelly Johnson to break the tie, and is now behind 2-0 to Lucas Duda. Vizcaíno's not the same guy these last couple of nights. He walks Duda. And now Juan Lagares will bat. Roger McDowell will ring the Braves bullpen. How deep are the Mets? Juan Lagares was a Gold Glove winner last year. And he's almost, and I mean this with all due respect, he's almost an afterthought in their team right now.
He's having a hard time finding his way on the field, that's for sure. Now, part of it, like Joe said, has been some injuries, but
he lays down a bunt. And the throw to first just in time to get him. Lagares lays down a sacrifice. And Kelly Johnson's talking to Simmons about that double play earlier in the game while they stand at third base.
Nice play here by Garcia, because that one was not going to roll foul, and his strong throw just barely got there in time.
I think Terry Collins is going to challenge that play at first. You know, Lagares appreciates that. This might turn into an infield hit.
That last angle we had was probably the best one, and keep in mind that it was Jace Peterson covering at first, so there's no real stretch here. If there were, he probably wouldn't have had any reason to question it. But I think they still got him.
At the very least, they'll be at second and third. The Mets are hoping the bases will be loaded. And the call is confirmed. He was out at first. Nice work by Tim Timmons on a bang play. And Freddie Gonzalez is on his way out with Curtis Granderson coming up. He'll go to his bullpen. So Vizcaíno gives up a run, 2 hits, a walk. The men at second and third aren't his responsibility. New York has taken the lead back. It's 5-4 in the ninth.
The Georgia Lottery, and your local Toyota dealers. Let's go places.
Moments after Tyler Clippard gave up a 3-run game-tying homer, the Mets have come back on an RBI hit from Kelly Johnson in the top of the ninth inning to take a 5-4 lead off of Rodis Vizcaíno. Fans, zombies, walkers, and the undead are invited to Zombie Night at Turner Field this Friday when the Braves take on the Phillies. The ticket package includes a zombie survival kit, access to zombie makeup artists, and a pregame zombie walk around the field. Go to Braves.com for more information. Friday night, September 18th, when the Phillies come a-calling.
Enter McKirahan is in the 3rd game of this series already. Last night he came in, retired both hitters he faced, and one was a left-handed hitter, Lucas Duda. He's had trouble with left-handed hitters. Got one up there now, and a clutch hitter at that in Granderson.
Curtis 1 for 4 tonight. The hit a 3rd inning single, infield in for Atlanta, and way outside, ball 1. Braves love McKirahan's arm. He's a Rule 5 guy and learning on the job in the major leagues. Not easy. 1 ball, no strikes. 2-0.
They'd like to get Granderson and have that open base save for Cespedes. But it's not looking that way. Last night Cespedes was turned loose 3-0. See if Granderson is.
We'll never know. Well, there's no place to put Cespedes now. Freddie Gonzalez is going to have to go to his bullpen yet again. Third pitcher of the inning, Vizcaino, McKirahan, and now it's going to be righty versus righty. This is what's been so frustrating, heartbreaking about the Atlanta Ball Club. These late inning runs have sapped an awful lot of momentum. Bases loaded for the Mets. Back in a minute. Real-time highlights and pitch tracking info on your out-of-market fantasy players, live or on demand on over 400 devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Get MLB.tv today. A real mess. And Peter Moylan is going to come on and hopefully get a ground ball.
Faced David Wright last night, got out of a jam, but wasn't anything like this. Bases loaded and arguably the hottest hitter on the planet right now. This last inning, Edwin Jackson made a mistake on a breaking ball and he hit another home run.
Peter Moylan, when he's right, is a ground ball machine. Let's see if Atlanta can get one. Mets have the bases loaded, one out. Johnson, Duda, and Granderson, the base runners, but all eyes are on Yoenis Cespedes. He's 2 for 4 with the Mets with the bases loaded, and he's already hit a grand slam in a New York uniform.
He looked like he was taking all the way on that first pitch.
Down and away strike. Good place for Moylan. 1 ball, 1 strike now. Same spot.
Having a hard time hanging in there so far.
Start that slider there.
Yep.
Finish off the plate.
Bouncing ball. Simmons charges. He's going to come home. It is late. Great try by Simmons, but Kelly Johnson beat the play at the plate. And on a fielder's choice, Cespedes picks up his second RBI, and the Mets have a second 9th inning run.
Well, they're playing back for a double play up the middle, so having too far to go to get that big hop didn't give him time to get Kelly. Made a good pitch, got the ground ball, but it was hit too slowly.
So fielder's choice RBI. Tough break for Peter Moylan. Got the ground ball, but the Mets got a second run. Fourth pitcher of the innings coming on for Atlanta. We'll tell you who it is in a moment. Have struck for 2 and lead 6-4. We wrap up the series with the Mets here tomorrow at 1 o'clock Eastern time and enjoy a much needed off day on Monday. Then we welcome the Toronto Blue Jays to town. A 3-game series Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday nights. The Blue Jays beat the Yankees 9-5 in game 1 today, and they're bludgeoning them 10-4 in game 2 in the Bronx, and they've got another doubleheader tomorrow. Here it's Matt Marksberry, bases loaded, and he'll face Daniel Murphy. Murphy, 2 doubles, 2 runs today.
Back-to-back games for Marksberry too. And the only other time on my list here of his most recent 10 games, he's only done that one other time, and that was September 3rd and 4th. And on the 4th, he gave up a run and took a loss.
Murphy slices one toward left. Swisher on the run. Got there in foul ground. Made the grab. Murphy tried to flip it down the left field line, but Swisher made a nice play, and that's out number 2.
Got a good jump on that ball.
But we are not out of trouble yet. David Wright's up there.
Nice job by Nick. Crashing into the wall, trying to bring that home run back from Cespedes and running that one down.
Wright had a healthy cut. Strike 1. Tipped into AJ's glove. Now David Wright way behind 0-2. That's in the Mets dugout. Still 0-2. Rolled toward third, and that will retire the side. I'll tell you what, that's great work by Matt Marksberry. Bases loaded, one out, and the Mets cannot add on. It's 6-4 New York. $32. Get a human ticket, a canine ticket, and a Braves ceramic dog bowl, and see the Braves take on the Phillies. Tickets are going fast. Go to Braves.com/bark today. Braves tied it in the 8th, 4-4, but the Mets with 2 in the 9th lead 6-4 now. And it's our AT&T U-verse trivia question. The last 4 years, Daniel Murphy has 22 doubles against the Braves. That leads all Atlanta opponents. Who's second in doubles?
David Wright.
I was going to go David Wright.
Oh, okay.
No, go ahead.
Man.
Go ahead. I'll go Stanton again. Why not?
I'll say Chase Utley. Ooh.
Bryce Harper. Didn't have that one.
Nope. Likely MVP in the National League. As Juris Familia is on to protect a 2-run lead. And he's got 3, 4, 5 men coming up for Atlanta.
Worked last night in a non-safe situation. Gave up a hit, but no damage.
Kevin Plawecki's checked in behind the plate. Remember, Darno was pinch run for. So it's Familia and Plawecki, and a strike for Freeman. The Nationals lost 2-0. Jose Fernandez won again at home. Ruben Tejada's in at short. Duda's in at first. New York trying to trim their magic number to 12. Bounce to the plate. It's 0-2. Ground ball Kelly Johnson got there, throws on the run, and he got Freddie Freeman. He's made 3 plays from the outfield grass against Atlanta hitters. 1 there against Freeman, 2 against the man coming up, A.J. Pierzynski. So 1 away in the 9th. Familia has an excellent chance to set a Mets record. He's chasing down his 40th save tonight. Armando Benitez has the single season record for the Mets of 43. That was in 2001.
I'm betting he gets it.
I like his chances.
You know who the last Met to get to 40 was?
Billy Wagner?
Billy Wagner, 2006.
Does that count as a trivia question?
Yes, you're
sure if you want it to.
You're one.
6 for me.
You're 1-1. In tonight's action, 1 ball, 2 strikes for AJ. Bases empty, 1 out.
See, Familia just threw 1 pitch 99, and then he threw another one 94. So I don't know if that was his sinker, his 2-seamer, or if it was something else. But
I don't know if it was that fork ball. I don't know.
Yeah, split that he's got a new grip on.
Beaten into the ground, foul. It's still 1-2.
If he's throwing a split 94, and that one 93,
yeah,
that's dynamite.
Yeah, that's what they've been saying, is his split is in the low 90s. To go along with that upper 90s fastball, and the change in grip is what changed not only his luck with it, but his willingness to use it. Real difference maker for him as he tries to hold a 2-run lead in the 9th. And Plawecki is out for a visit.
We've been talking about the add-on runs tonight. It was after the Braves had tied the ball game up, but the Braves bullpen, innings 7 through 9 in the first 3 games of this series, have given up 10 runs, 3 tonight.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
Good swing.
Foul 3rd.
Good swing. Up there slashing, just trying to put the ball in play and get on base. Bring the tying run to the plate in Swisher. That was a good hack.
Now it's 2-2. Ground ball again. He's done that 3 times tonight. And AJ, giving it everything he's got down the line, is still a step late. And the Braves are down to their final out here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Braves country, have you gotten your Tour Championship tickets yet? If not, now's your chance to get a Braves Field Reserve ticket for any remaining game this year and a Saturday Tour Championship grounds pass for just $89. That's a savings of up to 34%. Go to Braves.com/PGA for more information. Nick Swisher, the final hope. And looking for his first hit tonight.
I like what relievers are doing these days with that type of delivery. They've stolen it from LaTroy Hawkins. Those guys that work out of the stretch, a quick pitcher that can throw hard like him. What a weapon. You better be ready.
Little change of pace.
LaTroy Hawkins is the man that taught that move to Mr. Familia. And he's ahead of Swisher. 1 ball, 2 strikes. That's a strike away from a 9.5 game lead in the division and a 6-game winning streak. Swing and a miss, and that's your ball game. The Braves tied it in the 8th. The Mets got 2 in the 9th. And the New Yorkers have beaten the Braves for a 3rd straight time in Atlanta. Their magic number to win the East is now 12. 6-4 your final score. Tyler Clippard forced to accept the win. And Familia saves number 40 for New York.